2.3, we are translating word problems and solving. So in Unit 1, we already had a little bit of practice with translating word problems. So what we're going to be doing today is using that information and translating, and then we're actually going to solve. So we do have to come up with an answer for each one. Okay? So let's look at example 1 first. The cost of surfing lessons is $15 per day. So I'm going to underline that because that sounds important. So $15 per day plus $5 for each hour. How many hours was a surfing lesson that cost $65? Okay, so the first thing I always do when I look at a word problem is ask myself, what are they asking me to find? Okay, so I'm going to write that off to the side. What are they asking me to find? What are they asking me to find? What am I being asked to find in this example, guys? How many hours? That's the question. So hours is our variable here. So when you are working with word problems, you must always define the variable. So what variable do you want to use for hours? H. How about H? So in a word problem, anytime you have one, I should always see H equals number of hours. If you do not define the variable, you could get your answer as H equals 12, and I don't know what the heck H means. Okay? Or you might use X. I don't know what X means. I know you're solving for X, but what does X stand for? So you have to define the variable anytime you have a word problem. Your homework should have this every time. Your quizzes, your tests should always have defining the variable. Okay, so let's read the question again and try and see if we can translate it. $15 per day. So that means that even if I rent the jet ski or the surfing lesson, if I buy the surfing lesson and I never show up, I still paid how much? $15. So I will always pay $15 no matter what. Plus $5 for every hour. So looking at just the cost per hour, not the 15 part. If my surfing lesson was only 1 hour, how much would I be paying for that 1 hour? $20. How'd you get that? 5 plus 15. What if my surfing lesson was 2 hours long? How'd you get that? 15 plus 10. What if it was 3 hours long? 30. How'd you get 30? 15 plus 15. How are you guys getting the one that's changing every time? If it's $5 for every hour, how are you calculating that? Right, so we are multiplying 5 times however many hours our lesson is. So 5 times H. If my lesson was 3 hours, 5 times 3 gives me 15, plus 15 gives me 30, right? So I'm multiplying $5 times the number of hours. And that should equal what? 65. So now let's take a look at our equation and read it again to make sure it makes sense. $15 for the day, so I'm going to be paying $15 no matter what, plus $5 times the number of hours should equal 65. So how will I solve this two-step equation? I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides, and I'm going to get 5H equals 50, and then what do I do? Divide both sides by 5. So we get H equals 10 what? Hours. It is a word problem, so you have to write it. On the Unit 1 test, I saw a lot of T equals 96. T equals 48. 96 what? 48 what? You have to put the units. Okay, so it should be 10 hours. Alright, let's look at example 2. Membership to a video rental club is $60 a year. and $2 for every game rented. So you're paying $60 for the whole year no matter what, and $2 for each game or each video. At the end of the year, John spent $346. How many videos did he rent? What's my variable in this one? V, and V equals what?
Videos.
The number of videos. Okay. So let's write the equation. What am I paying no matter what? Flat fee. $60. Plus, how much for each video? 2. So 2 times the number of videos should equal 346. Will you guys solve that by yourselves right now? Okay, guys. What do I do in my first step? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Aaliyah. Very good. Subtract 60 from both sides. So that gives me 2V equals 286. Okay, somebody different. What's my next step? Marcus? Divide by 2. So we get V equals 143 what? Videos. Good. Okay? Not too bad? Thumbs up, thumbs down. How are you now after doing 2 of these? Excellent. Okay, let's look at example 3. Example 3 says, the lengths of the sides of a pentagon. What is a pentagon? How many sides does it have? It has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, are 2x. So this guy is 2x. X plus 3, so another side is x plus 3. 3x minus 5. X plus 1. And 4x minus 3. Okay, so those are all the sides of a pentagon. Here's the side lengths that they give me. I just drew them in, wrote them in somewhere. Okay, if the perimeter is 73, what's the definition of perimeter? Perimeter means what? I'll draw a stick. Who's in 23? What's perimeter mean?
Like outside.
Yeah, it's the distance around the outside. Good. So distance around the outside. Okay, so if I have all these sides and I know the perimeter is 73, what do I need to do? Good. Add them all up together. So we have 2x plus x plus 3 plus 3x minus 5 plus x plus 1 plus 4x minus 3. All of that equals 73. I know. So what you guys can do is you can do scratch work on the side. I'm just going to start combining like terms in one step. So I'm looking at the 2x. 2x plus x gives me what? 3x plus 3x gives me 6x plus 1x, 7x plus 4x, 11x. If you have to do scratch work, just go ahead and do it on the side. Okay, but all my x's add up to 11. Then I have positive 3 minus 5. What's that give me? Negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1? Negative 1. And negative 1 minus 3? Very good. Negative 4 equals 73. So all I did in the second step was combine like terms. And this should be easy. What do I do first to solve this one? Who's in 13? Genevieve. Perfect. Add 4 to both sides. So we get 11x equals 77. And then what do I do in order to solve for x? Who's in 16? Savannah, what do I do? Exactly, I divide by 11. So that gives me x equals 7. Okay, how do you feel about that perimeter? Good? Alright, last one. Example 4. The perimeter of a quadrilateral shown below is 50. So perimeter is 50. Find the value of x. So what do we have to do to all of the edges here? Add them up. So I'm going to start at 2x plus minus 3. So we get 2x minus 3 plus 9x plus 7x plus 4 plus x minus 9, or x minus 8, equals 50. Okay, let's combine like terms. 2x plus 9x, what does that give me?
11x.
11x plus 7x gives me 18x plus 1x? 19x. Okay, negative 3 plus 4, what does that give me?
1.
Positive 1. And positive 1 minus 9? Negative 8. Oh wait, this is supposed to be 8. Okay, so 1 minus 8 gives me negative 7. There we go. Oh man, guys, even teachers make mistakes. Okay, what do I do to solve this two-step equation? Who's in 36? Skylar, what do I do? Very good, I add 7 to both sides. So that's going to give me 19x equals 57. And then what do I do to solve that? Who's in 35? Nobody. 26. Mary, what do I do? Very good. I divide both sides by 19. So that's going to give me x equals, what'd you guys get?
3.
Excellent. Those are word problems.